Russia's president has ordered the armed forces to focus first and foremost on a new frontier, the Arctic. Global warming is gradually opening up the North Pole to shipping and has spawned an international rat race for its resources. Let's have a chat now about this with Lucy Kafanov, who's been following this story for us. Hi there, Lucy. Lovely to see you. So the Arctic, of course, is a huge and a very important place. We all understand that. So what did Vladimir Putin have to say about that, and what does he want?
Right. Well, basically, Mr. Putin said that the military, Russia's military presence in the Arctic region is going to be one of the top priorities for the country. He emphasized the importance of a Soviet-era military base in the New Siberian Islands, which the military had started to overhaul earlier this year. Now, Russian officials say that this facility is very important for sort of protecting shipping routes that basically link Europe and the Pacific region across the Arctic Ocean. But of course, that's not the only base. There's a whole chain, actually, of bases in that area that had fallen basically into neglect after the Soviet Union had collapsed. And Mr. Putin said that those would be refurbished and built up again. Sure.
Of course, there are so many contenders there. So many countries want a piece of this Arctic pie, as we call it. So what's at stake?
Right. Well, basically, it's the Arctic's abundant resources, oil, natural gas, and minerals that are, because of climate change, now becoming accessible, whereas they weren't really before. Now, the Arctic could hold some 90 billion barrels of oil and nearly 1,700 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. That's according to the U.S. Geological Survey. And that could be up to 10% of the world's petroleum supply. There's also precious iron ore, rare earth minerals. So a lot of very profitable resources that could make a lot of money for different companies and countries, and that's why the bordering countries all want a piece of the pie, as you said, and that's Canada, Denmark, Norway, Russia, and of course the United States. The warming climate has also opened up a northern sea route that's basically ice-free during the summer, and that's gotten countries like China interested as well, because, for example, for China, if they were to use that route to ship things to Europe, that cuts 30% off of the costs. And interestingly enough, last year there was about 46 vessels that were able to use this route. Experts predict with the melting of the ice caps that many more ships, not necessarily icebreakers, will be able to go through there. So again, a lot of money and a lot of basically profits potentially at stake here.
Sure, and with all these claims being made, as well as all those military forces being beefed up, it seems a bit dangerous. What do you think, the whole situation?
It certainly does. I mean, the worry is that this could spark some sort of, perhaps an arms race, essentially, over the resources here. Because, again, I mean, this area doesn't necessarily belong to any one country. There's a UN law, the UN Convention of the Law of the Sea that governs this area, and there's a bunch of countries that have signed on to it. But, again, with the polar ice caps melting, with more resources becoming available, different countries are sort of haggling over political and economic leadership in the area, and we've actually already seen an escalation of this. For example, on Monday, the Canadian foreign minister said that Canada intends to lay claim to the North Pole as part of its bid to assert control over the Arctic. That, of course, is raising tensions with Russia, and so it's unclear how this will develop, but certainly as those resources become more available, more countries do want to lay stake to this area that before no one really cared about the boundaries because the stuff wasn't really accessible.
Exactly. Right, Lucy Kafanov. Lucy, thank you very much for letting us know. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.